Who said canned meat has to be boring? Whether you're adding avocado for flavor or smoked paprika for some spice, these ingredients are certain to transform your canned meat from blah to bold. If you're thinking what we're thinking, mixing a bit of oil in with canned meat sounds so basic that it hardly appears worthy of a mention.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Even so, experts insist that adding a drizzle of olive oil to canned meats like tuna can transform the meat in a remarkable way. You just have to pay attention to just what oil you're using. When adding your olive oil to your tuna, make sure the oil is as high quality as possible. High-quality olive oil is often marked as extra virgin, indicating that it's unrefined and unheated. Remember that extra virgin olive oil packs its own peppery flavor, and thus may offer a more distinct taste than what you get from a more processed neutral oil. That said, do your best to avoid light-tasting olive oil. Though neutral, it's been heated and refined to mask its distinctive olive oil flavor and smell. It also may not provide the same benefits to your health that extra virgin olive oil can. But how much oil should we use? Chef Dennis Litley of Ask Chef Dennis Productions tells us, just before serving, drizzle some extra virgin olive oil over your meat or mix in a tablespoon while heating. It adds a rich, smooth texture and elevates the natural flavors of the meat. It sounds so boring and simple, but that's the beauty of it really. Using citrus as flavoring is common when it comes to seafood, and it ultimately has the same effect when added to an otherwise humble can of meat. Why does this work so well? Chef Litley tells us, a little bit of lemon, lime, or orange zest plus a squeeze of their juice at the end of cooking can really transform canned meats. The acidity cuts through the richness and adds a refreshing tang that lifts the entire dish. Daniel Mersing, CEO of Premier Staff in Hollywood, agrees, noting that these citrus juices also add a zippy fresh taste that can easily make you forget the meat came from a tin. Using miso in canned tuna may not seem like an obvious choice when cooking, but don't let that stop you. If you find yourself wondering what miso paste is and what it tastes like, the answer is that it comes from fermented soybeans and koji, a food-safe mold that is key to the fermentation process. Together, they yield a very savory, full-bodied flavor. Because of this, miso lends itself perfectly to canned meats, as it enhances its taste with umami savor. Why does it work so well? Daniel Mersing tells us, miso paste is the secret weapon in our culinary arsenal, I often tell my team. It's like the Robert De Niro of ingredients. It elevates everything it touches. A small dollop of miso paste can transform a bland can of tuna into a savory sensation. You've likely already heard of pan-fried tuna patties, but did you know you can also use breadcrumbs to transform other canned meats in a similar way? Daniel Mersing tells us, to use breadcrumbs, drain your canned meat, let's say corned beef. Mix it with some finely chopped onions and egg, form into patties, and coat generously with panko. Pan fry until golden, and voila! You've got crispy corned beef cakes. Mersing goes on to state that the reason breadcrumbs work so well here is due to the way that they contrast against the tender texture of the meat. By combining the soft meat with the coarseness of the breadcrumbs, it creates a surprisingly satisfying crunch. Smoked paprika is one of the best spices for flavoring meat of any sort, at least in our opinion. Thus, it makes sense that the experts also recommend this as an essential spice for making canned meat taste gourmet. Smoked paprika's smoky flavor is often associated with barbecue and is featured in a number of easy homemade barbecue sauce recipes. Its milder sibling, sweet paprika, is more often used and is widely available in grocery stores. Yet the problem is that, to many minds, this sweet and mild version of paprika lacks the oomph that smoked paprika brings, which is why the pros recommend using the latter to jazz up canned meat. As Daniel Mersing tells us, the smoky flavor adds a layer of complexity that masks the canned taste and tricks the palate into thinking the meat has been slow-cooked for hours. It's like giving your canned meat a backstage pass to Flavor Town.
Are we in Flavor Town right now?
I am at customs. I am crossing the border.
Fish sauce is a fermented condiment that packs plenty of umami punch. Because fish sauce isn't as prevalent in some US grocery stores as, say, ketchup, you may struggle to find new creative ways to use fish sauce in a recipe. Thankfully, once you procure a bottle of this stuff, doing so is easy, especially when it comes to adding it to canned meat. According to Mersing, fish sauce is one ingredient he thinks is essential when it comes to boosting the flavor of canned meat. He tells us, fish sauce is like the hardworking production assistant of the culinary world. You might not notice it, but everything falls apart without it. A few drops of fish sauce can transform a can of plain chicken into an Asian-inspired dish worthy of a Disney premiere. As we've already established, canned meats often have a certain blah factor about them, but adding herbs can remedy the problem quickly. Not only do herbs often add a burst of color, but they bring plenty of fresh flavor to the proceedings as well. Chef Litley is fond of using herbs in canned meat, especially when it comes to herbs that are fresh. Not used to cooking with fresh herbs? No worries. He's got a few details that can help you impart the likes of parsley, basil, cilantro, thyme, and more to your canned meat like a pro. He tells us, just chop them finely and sprinkle over your heated meat, or mix them in during cooking. They add a vibrant, fresh aroma that can really mask any overly processed flavors and make the dish feel bright and lively. He does add that you should be careful to utilize only the right herbs and not too much. Certain herbs with potent and potentially divisive flavors, like cilantro, may end up overpowering your dish if they aren't used with restraint. Béchamel is the ever-so-versatile cream sauce you never knew you needed. As fancy as it might sound, it's really just a mixture of 3 things: flour, fat, and milk. If you're familiar with recipes for creamy home-style mac and cheese, you likely know that many of the recipes begin with just such a classic béchamel.
Where's my mac and cheese?
What you may not know is that this sauce also pairs excellently with canned meat and can be used in a variety of recipes to help take your canned meat to the next level. One such recipe is one we found through Quora. According to one budget-minded user, Vienna sausages can be used to make a savory tart with béchamel as its base. Simply dice up Vienna sausages, add onion, herbs, and other canned meat options, along with add-ins like boiled egg. Mix it all together and pour your béchamel sauce over it. Put this mixture into a tart shell and bake. The result is a deeply satisfying meal that looks and feels gourmet. Adding cheese to canned meat may sound a little, well, uncanny, but the truth is that it can easily help to make your canned meats taste gourmet. As Dennis Litley puts it, grated Parmesan, cheddar, or a sprinkle of feta mixed into the meat or added on top before serving can add a creamy, rich element that pairs wonderfully with the savory meat, making it feel much more luxurious. Of course, apart from adding canned meat to cheesy casseroles or creamy pasta dishes, you could also enjoy cheese-topped canned meat on its own or on bread. Crostini would work well here, but any type of bread would do. You could even try sprinkling a bit of cheese into your classic tuna or chicken salad for unexpected flavor. The sky's the limit.
Scotty, beam me up.
Peppers are a fun way to jazz up canned meat and make it taste gourmet. The best part about this trick is variety, as different peppers serve different purposes, with each providing its own unique flavor. One type of pepper we love adding to canned meat is red bell pepper. The taste is sweet and mellow, while its red hue adds a pop of color that works to make practically any dish aesthetically pleasing. Red bell peppers go perfectly alongside tuna and Mexican-inspired tuna salad, as do slightly hotter jalapenos. Apart from lending canned meat its beautiful deep shade of green, jalapenos work to amp up the heat while adding a unique flavor to boot. Adding avocado to canned meat is a great way to upgrade its flavor, and thankfully, there are many ways to do it. Sliced or diced avocado works well when garnishing dishes or topping salads that feature canned meats. Along with adding sliced or diced avocado comes the rather innovative idea of ditching the mayo and using avocado for the creamiest tuna salad. Because of its thick and smooth consistency, avocado makes a nutritious alternative to mayonnaise. One of our favorite ways to jazz up an avocado tuna salad is to add red onions to the mix. Diced up, these spicy veggies will stand out amidst a sea of creamy green goodness that appeals as much to the eye as it does to the taste buds. If you don't quite want to swap out your mayonnaise for avocado completely, try a mixture of half and half to reap the cool and creamy benefits of both. Curry powder is most commonly associated with chicken, but you could even elevate your canned tuna with curry powder if you wanted to. The truth is that curry powder is a simple but powerful spice when it comes to adding flavor, though we will warn you that the flavor may be an acquired taste to some taste buds. If you've never sampled curry powder, expect bold, sweet, and savory flavor. It's key to remember that curry powder isn't a singular spice, but is instead a combination of spices that are typically roasted and then combined.
I smell fear mixed with curry.
To use curry powder to elevate canned meat, try sautéing it with fresh onions and garlic over medium heat before stirring in the meat. You could also consider adding curry powder to your mayonnaise when adding canned meat to chicken or tuna salad. Just remember that curry powder is potent, so be sure that you actually like its flavor before you add it to your meat. And even if you do like it, only add a little at a time, tasting along the way to make sure you're not overdoing it. It may sound run-of-the-mill, but adding garlic and onion to your canned meat can really boost its flavor. Most of us probably wouldn't think of cooking our canned meat in garlic and onions the way we might steak or chicken thighs, but our experts declare it an awesome way to elevate meat in a tin. Dennis Litley has a simple yet effective technique for incorporating the tasty duo of garlic and onions into canned meat. He tells us, sauté some finely chopped garlic and onions until they're golden brown and mix them into your canned meat. They add a deep, savory base that can really enhance the flavor profile and make the meat taste more homemade. To serve, take your freshly sautéed canned meat and use it to top potatoes or rice. Pair this combination with a fresh garden salad or a side of roasted vegetables, and you've got a quick, inexpensive, and easy dinner that's loaded with flavor.